Relationships. We have to have a relationship with ourselves. So think about when you argue. When you've had an argument with the outside and the environment controls you to some degree because the environment dictates to your cells how it's going to make a reaction. And that's based on your programs from when you were little. And so your environment is picking and being there, and you pick up the triggers. Okay. So all these work together. So when you're arguing, you got to decide whether or not, as an adult, you have to unlearn. How did you learn to win it? Because we are moving into that new paradigm of it's not about winning an argument. It's about it's okay to be kind and still be wrong. It's okay to be different and still be loved. So it's maneuvering through these new parts and the old parts. So as you're talking to a new way of thinking, because you're creating a new model of what relationships really are. Without this new model, we would just keep repeating the past. So how do you argue with yourself? You know how to argue based on how you want to do something, and maybe you don't want to do it. So you feel stubborn and won't get out of your own way. Or maybe you have to be lofty to yourself, argue with yourself to motivate yourself to do something you don't really want to do. That could be good for you. Or you're arguing with all your excuses and your reasonings, you're arguing to keep your limitations. And the new aspect of us is to do away with having to use negative and influence, negative persuasion, or using any type of persuasion to go against our own will. So when you think of arguing, you have to also think about self-abuse. When you start to denigrate yourself and self-shame, self-abuse in any form with words, feelings, guilt tripping your own self, sabotaging yourself. And this is where it can get tricky, because you'll be looking through your mindset. And it's the mindsets that we have to pay attention to. There is either going to be a survival mindset, and you live through trauma, drama bonding, or you live through ego mindset. You still could have some trauma and drama, but this is more of a manipulation. This is more calculating, but you really have no clue that maybe you're doing it. Because in the survival mindset, you're more self-preservation. So you almost don't care who you hurt to get what you want, because you just want to feel safe, secure, stable, sane, serene, and space, which is your freedom. If you feel like there's a threat or a loss or some type of impending doom, then you don't realize how you're going to be mean to yourself or mean to others. In the ego mindset, you may be oblivious to other people's emotions, other people's belief systems. And this is where a lot of arrogance can come in. Oh, why are you doing it that way? That's stupid. Thinking there's only one way to do it, which is the right way to do it, which is the way you do it, because it works for you. But at the same time, there's what I refer to as the kaleidoscope of perspectives. And it's these perspectives that all exist over maybe one thing. So one way is not always the right way. And you'll catch people. You'll catch people how they'll tell you that this is the right way to do it, and they cannot even keep themselves in line. They'll tell you, and they expect that, and they're watching with judgment so that they can say something. But in the next breath, they won't follow their own advice. They'll turn around and they've changed the rules because it's convenient for them. And they may not even know that they're changing the rules. They just know that they have to control each aspect to maybe sometimes not feel something, or have something that they had a conclusion on that, nope, they don't want that to happen again. So you'll see people say, do as I say, not as I do. But when you're doing that, that means you have no self-soothe, self-control, and self-regulation. And so therefore you're expecting that so much, let's say out of your friends, out of your kids, or out of your partner, and the rules change for you. But in your mind, you're okay with that. But are you aware that there's a difference? And that's where there's hypocrites. So you could be a hypocrite and not even know it. Let's say you have this relationship and you don't see the other's perspective. It doesn't inconvenience you, so it doesn't inconvenience you at all, but their issue is that something inconveniences them and they need you. Well, since you don't want to do it, since you can't see that point of view of how it inconveniences them, you will find reasons and excuses and basically tell them to get into line with your thinking. What I've learned down the road is there's no such thing as the right or wrong. It is your experiences that helps you find your healthy, correct path for you. So some people, it would be correct. And for some other people, it won't be, like when you try to get crossing cultures. So when you are learning a different perspective, I had this beautiful friend and we had Christmases together. The first time we had Christmas, I wanted to know how she did it. And there was a part of her that was a little upset going, why? And she felt like I was going to judge her. I says, no, I always love to watch how other people do it because I know everybody does it just slightly different. They put their own take on it. And I was just curious what yours was. She goes, oh. So then she explained. And so we incorporated some of those ideas and it worked beautifully. And I loved it. When you're open, you will be able to have an and respect for people. And that's a beautiful thing. But it's when you're closed and you think that there's only one way to do it. Part of the old paradigm was, if I can't do it, you can't do it. And if I don't want to do it, you shouldn't want to do it. And why would you find that interesting? Oh, that's just stupid. And what does that do, especially when you're with a crowd of people? You persuade them to believe the way you believe and to shame and shun and guilt another person. That is something an old paradigm would happen. We don't need to do that. When you're open, when somebody tells me that, oh yeah, they got this new app and they get to watch airplanes. Oh, cool. What makes that fun? And you can have an interaction of communication. Just because you may think it's stupid doesn't mean that, or you have an old belief system that I can't like it unless other people agree. So I'll just kind of take a different stance. Or I don't like it. Therefore, I'm going to convince everybody in the room not to like it so that you feel like shit. The question is that really what you want your benevolent heart to be? People will preach that they're kind and nice and sweet. And 2 seconds later, out of the side of their mouth, they're not. So when you begin to have a new relationship with yourself and you learn to love yourself, you will take and be okay with the fact that you like something different than somebody else and that you don't have to give it up because it's not following the crowd, or that somebody in your household keeps telling you how stupid it is. And so finally you give up. Allow yourself to discover yourself, what you like and don't like. Food, for instance. In the old days, it was always so hard to tell maybe your parents you didn't like that food. But they'll turn around and say, oh, he loved it. He loved it. And in fact, you're going, no, I don't. Did you ever be able to speak up? And maybe you did, but they didn't or choose not to listen. So you're stuck forever on Wednesday nights, always eating the same meal that you don't like. When you pay a compliment because you don't want to hurt someone's feeling, and yet they are so excited, they keep serving the same food to you and you keep putting up with it. The problem with this is you're going to end up building something called the intolerance tube. And this intolerance tube is that instead of having this beautiful, energetic entanglement cord with your friend or loved one, you're going to be building this intolerance tube, and it's all the stuff you start stuffing that you hate. You start stuffing things in there, stuff you can't tolerate, stuff that you silently brood about. And after a while, you'll keep building it up to the point you'll have a resentment, bitterness, and anger. And when the disappointment just keeps coming out all the time, you'll start developing this wall between you. You forgot that you got together because it was love and lack of communication, assuming. These are all the ways that no longer serve when it comes to having relationships. We need to create a new model. That means we have a lot of things to look at and to address.